Okay, so here we are. This is Flight Doc Reviews, and I'm creating an IFR flight plan in Microsoft Flight Simulator for the Aerosoft CRJ700, and using Simbrief and Navigraph and the tools built into the simulator itself. These things actually all work together really well, and in fact, if you try IFR flight planning in only Microsoft Flight Simulator, you're going to have a terrible hard time. So here we are at Simbrief, and you can see I've got some flight plans. We're not going to use this one. This is from CYVR to CYLW. We're going to use CYVR to KPDX Vancouver to Portland for the CRJ700, Aerosoft CRJ700. A really nice plane to fly. So here we are in Simbrief, and I'm going to fiddle with the map here for a second. This is, the Simbrief map is a bit of a pain and maybe not that useful anyway. Let's see if we can just get it looking like it's supposed to into one screen here. Okay, we'll live with that. So I've created a flight, calling it flight number 1123 for Canadian Airlines, and as you can see, we got some waypoints. Let's have a look at the SIDS and stars for high altitude planning, high altitude airways for IFR flights for the big passenger jets. And as you can see, we don't have a SIDS option, a departure options from CYVR, but we do have a stars arrival option for KPDX, and we choose that one, Crj700. And we save, of course, and generate the flight plan. And that's how we import Simbrief later into Microsoft Flight Simulator for the CRJ700. Now here's Navigraph, because we're going to set this flight up here first because it's just way stronger a tool, and then we'll go from here to Microsoft Flight Simulator and match our plan. So starting off, we have the imported plan. You can see it there, CYVR and KPDX on the left and the map on the right. Let's have a look at our departure. We're going to choose a departure from YVR, and it's going to be Fraser 7. I like this departure. It's nice and easy to fly. We add that to our route. Pops onto the plan like that. You can see it there. From YVR, zooming out a little bit, and now we're going to have a look at KPDX for the stars, the arrival, and we have 18 approaches. Let's do the approach first, and then we'll look at the stars, the arrival. The approach is going to be to runway 28L and ILS approach. Let's pop that plan onto the screen. And as you can see, we have some transitions to select as well. I'm going to choose Schaffer, and there's our plan. That's our approach to 28L ILS. Now the departure, let's take a look at the taxi. Actually, we already did the departure. Yeah, let's pull up the departure, have a look, and then we'll do the yes. So here's what the departure looks like. You pull it up a bit, you get more information. You have your tuning, radio tunings. You can see the plan there. You can see the tuning 115.9 for the departure. Down below you can look at some more details. Sometimes this can be significant, and it's certainly important if you're going to fly a realistic plan. You want to read all these details at the bottom of the chart. So that's what that looks like, the SID from CYVR. A closer look now at the star, the arrival to KPDX, Crj700, and we'll pull up this chart a little closer as well for a better look. Love the way they integrate these charts onto the map. It's pretty neat, and one of the beauties of this Navigraph system. And here's the actual approach to runway 28L. Going to get us in quite a bit closer into some detail here. The approach chart. And this is one you really want to save so you have quick access on your flight. ideally with two monitors, or if you're flying the fly-by-wire or A320, then you have these charts on your pilot's pad on the left side of the cockpit. But you have a good look here. Here's your approach, starting at Hipster at 3,700 feet, through Hannah to Adam. Adam, 2,000 feet is your transition onto that approach localizer. You're already going to be on loc by here, but you're going to hit the approach button back before this. 283 degrees is your final heading, and you're going to be below 2,000 feet when you're locking onto that glide slope. And you're tuning 110.5 up here on the top left. If you don't have that automatically tuned, you're going to add it manually, but usually it's tuned automatically for you when you load into the FMS. So that's a good look at the charts. Make sure you pin them. That's one of the beauties of Navigraph. It allows you to pin these charts for easy access later on. Summary on the left here. You can see we've got it's all here right here. 08R departure through Fraser 7, 2 runway 28L, Crater 2 is our arrival, and the transition Buzzwoe and Schaffert is our transition to 28L. It's all there in a summary form on the left. Finally, the taxiway, because this is the first thing you're going to be doing. You want quick access to this, and Navigraph will show your location as you're taxiing, which is really, really nice, just like a GPS locator. And it will show you, we're going to probably start around gate 7 or 8 near to the runway and have to cross runway 08R to get up to the departure point. And yeah, once you get into the simulation itself, make sure you have the right aircraft selected and any livery of your choice. And then of course we're going to go right to the flight planning and select CYVR, Vancouver, gate 7 or 8, whatever's handy down there, gate 7, sure, set as departure, and then we'll locate Portland KPDX here. There it is, and we're looking for 28L. There it is. Set that as our departure. Not arrival. Yes. We definitely want to arrive there. We're departing CYVR. And then choose IFR, High Altitude Airways, and you have all these additional choices on the top menu. Gate 7A, departures. Nope, we want Fraser 7. Let's find that. There it is. Select Fraser 7. And for arrivals, we have, want to choose not Helens, we're going to choose Crater 2 for 28L. Let's find that in our list here. If you don't make these choices here within the simulator, you get all the wrong ATC calls, which is really confusing. So this is where the integration breaks down a bit, but you have to do this manually, even though you've already done it in Navigraph and Simbrief. Now you've got to do it in the simulation itself. And we got the approach at ILS 28L. We're set. Didn't take very long, and really, if you're flying big passenger jets at high altitude, this is what you do.
Vancouver clearance delivery November
5 minutes later. So here we are in the simulation. I'll just start up the pad here on the left, and we'll enter those performance numbers later. What we're going to do first is we're going to adjust some lighting, because it's really a pain to get moving along, and as the day wears on, have to look for these lighting knobs. I wish there was a setup to invoke them, but there isn't. So on the left panel, on the center panel here, as you see, and then also in the overhead panel, there's one lighting adjustment on the lower right knob. Just turn that, crank that a bit. Okay, now we're going to have a look at the flight computer, MCDU. And as you can see, everything's fired up now. Screens are all on. Here's the MCDU. First thing we do is we tell the aircraft where we are. So position initialization, and next page, we'll grab that number. Here's our GPS reading. Grab that. put it in the buffer, previous page, enter there, and we're good to go. Now we tell the aircraft where the airport is. We're at CYVR, enter here, click, good, and then on to the flight plan. Simple method of entering the flight plan from Simbrief. You simply load up CYVR to KPDX, all on the same line, airport identifiers, and then click in the route number here, and boom, we got that. Route loaded, confirmed there in yellow. We're not going to execute till we have a look at departure arrival. Fraser 7 is there as it should be in our SIDS, and runway 08R looking good. Let's have a look at KPDX for the arrival. Yeah, looking good. Crj700 2 is ready to go, and ILS 28L. Not going to do the approach now. I think we'll add that later. So just execute, and you saw the change on the PFD there. Now, just to check here that we do have, I'm going to just the range down so we get a little finer resolution, down to 10 miles initially for our takeoff segment. Make sure the nav source is selected on FMS1. There it is. If not, when you invoke the nav button, the computer won't actually engage your flight plan. So FMS1 is what you need to see. Now, take a look at the legs here quickly. Well, performance initialization, then we'll look at the legs. Everything looks good. Flight level 330, our cruise altitude is correct. You can confirm that on your charts. Performance initialization, transition alt 18,000, also looking good. Perfect. Okay. Let's have a look at the legs. Yep, we do have a discontinuity. So we'll click on Buzo here, and then we'll bring that up. Click on the Buzo, then click on discontinuity, and that will disappear. And we won't have to worry about that later when the computer is engaged. Now, for this, we want to set up the heading for 083 so we can simply engage the autopilot on takeoff, and while we're climbing out, we will stay on 083. So let's do that with the heading knob, and you'll see the pink line in the Crj700 come up to the center. There we go, crank that up to the center, and we're looking good. Okay. So that's the majority of our setup for this IFR flight plan. Oh, if you do have trouble engaging the autopilot later, you're going to have to engage those yaw dampers on the center panel. But for now, we make sure the performance data is loaded in the FMS, and there we go. Okay, all looks good. And yeah, we're going to, from here on, we're going to watch the baggage and passengers load, and then we'll taxi out to the runway.